Yes, it's me, Mike Stone, and this is the Backseat Driver Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Gas Shocks, home of the 116 Trophy and 120 Coupe Cup. Hoddy Tyres, find the best tyres for your vehicle, supplying all the top brands to keep you covered in every season and every condition. Tarox Brakes, the art of slowing down, precision engineered in Italy for ultimate performance, and Specialised Automotive Services, specialists in high quality automotive maintenance and classic car restoration. You can find the details of all our proud sponsors for this episode in the show notes. I'd like to introduce the Backseat Driver, a lady rally driver, racing driver, who in, I suppose you could say, a relatively short period of time has become a racing phenomena with the rapid progress of her career. She's also on the Backseat Driver, in many ways, courtesy of the European correspondent, Katarina Kyvalova. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce Katarina Kyvalova to the Backseat Driver. Welcome, Katarina.
Yes, hello. Thank you for inviting me. Hi.
Now, before we get into your virtual meteoric career, where does the passion for classic cars and motor racing come from? Is it a family thing, or are you the first?
Well, it's very difficult to say. I don't have any family story, the usual, story from father or from brother that it just jumped on me.
Yeah.
I always say the cars found me. My brother's 13 years older than me.
Yeah.
So I guess that I played with his small cars when I was a child. I guess maybe there was an influence from his side, but I really very early to sort of developed relationships to everything what was moving, with four wheels. I rather was, on a small car than played with dolls. So I really think that it's coming from a very early age. So no story whatsoever. So it's purely passion, which I discovered for myself. And very clearly, there was not like this slowly development into anything. It was my first driving classic car, and I knew, like, blame me. I mean, this is great. I love this. So from the co-driver's seat, there's a friend. I moved to driver's seat by accidentally, pretty much. And here you go. I knew that's it. That's me done with hobbies.
Now, I know I read somewhere about you, your first classic was an Austin-Healey, and you still own it.
Correct. That's my baby. It's a big Healey, Austin-Healey 3000. In ice blue and cream, the classic combination.
Yeah.
And I just drove this car everywhere I could, literally, like around the corner to pop, and drove from Hamburg all the way to Goodwood for many years for festival speed and revival. It's a long way, trust me, with the ferry. And so I spent really many miles in this car, and obviously it's just made my, relationship to cars in general even stronger. And I love it. I still have it. And it's in Germany with me in my garage, and stroke it from time to time and drive it around the city, yeah.
I mean, they were a phenomenal rally car. I mean, Pat Moss, etc., drove them to great success. And in England, of course, they're known as the Big Banger Healeys because of the engine. I mean, they are a big, heavy car to drive, aren't they?
Yes, well, they definitely are. And it's a funny thing. I fell entirely in love with Austin-Healey's because I had this, first car, as we all do. We love our own first car, don't we? And when I decided to go racing, and then the whole story about that, I thought, like, I know Austin-Healey pretty well, so I could actually have my first race car Austin-Healey again.
Yeah.
So what was partly a slight big mistake, because you usually don't start with a big engines like 3-liter, happy tail car. So yeah, I indeed later on bought a race car again, big Healey 3000, and all my friends said, "Oh my goodness, you're crazy. This is a grown-up car. You are just not starting racing," and mainly in the UK in the rain in a big Healey. But yeah, somehow I got over the period. But I can definitely confirm it's a great car, and as you said, that Moss and many others just did great rallies, and admire them, because these cars are not easy to handle, not always.
I mean, they're also a car perfect for the big rallies like Liège, Rome, Liège, the big heavy-duty long-distance rallies, and they performed incredibly well on them. So, and once again, it's like you said, it's not a car you would really associate as a first classic. And don't take this the wrong way, it's not a car you would associate as a woman's first classic.
Well, here you go. You said Pen Moss, so I could argue this one, but no, they are. It's a gorgeous car.
Yeah.
So I always, I think it's a female approach to cars, and I always, catch myself that I still have this female approach. Means the car should look nice and beautiful. I should have a nice shape. So I definitely, the reason why I went for Austin-Healey really at the beginning was because it just looks so gorgeous. It's a lovely car.
Yeah.
But here you go. It's a wolf in the sheepskin. So it drives. You can really have one hell of fun at this bird everywhere on the rallies and racing. So I remember when I did my first track day after I got then the race car, right, the race prep to Austin-Healey in British Racing Green, it's also gorgeous. And it's been raining cats and dogs, and I was in Goodwood on the circuit doing my first laps, and I really asked myself like, what the hell am I doing here? Why? Well, this is normal. Girls don't do this. And obviously, I regret it for a couple of laps that I got this car because I simply wasn't used to the power and in the rain and how the car was moving around. And it was very impressed what this car is actually capable of. And years later, I raced together with Jeremy Welch, this particular car again, members meeting again. And I watched him, we shared my car, and I watched him how he handles this car. I watched onboard footage, and very impressive. And yes, Austin-Healey is a perfect car. Now, after so many years, when I see it and I've grown into that more, I can say, yes, it's maybe not the perfect beginner's car, but definitely a keeper for rallies and racing. So yeah, I love it.
I'll tell you what it is, I can remember that during my racing career. I used to sit on a grid and think, no sane person does this. You soon forget that when you set off, but no, at times you do wonder why you do it, because it's probably not, as a friend of mine said, it's not something a sane person goes to do. But as somebody also once said, racing drivers are incorrectly wired.
Yeah, I can definitely underline that. That's correct. There's something wrong with us.
Now, you started out doing long-distance road rallies, didn't you? Like the historic road rallies and navigation runs.
Yeah, it's a funny thing because I didn't really entirely started it. I maybe went back into rallies because all my passion for cars started, just driving around the city. Then I joined the classic car club, local classic car club in Germany, did some drives around. And then later on, a couple of years later, I started to do classic car rallies in the UK.
Yeah.
So like Flying Scotsman, 1000-mile trial, the pre-war rallies, because I really love pre-war cars. This is where my love to cars is coming from. So I used to do a little bit of these, local rallies. And only then I went to racing and didn't do any rallying at all. So now after so many years, I would say like so many years, 10 years when I'm racing, I don't want to say like I got bored. That would be really like not the right expression. But there are so many ways how you can do cars, right?
Yeah. So
if it's racing, if it's rallying or driving around, I really sort of had a feeling I would love to do cars in a different way again.
Yeah.
So that was it. And obviously it was on my bucket list, Beijing to Paris for so many years. I think everyone who loves cars knows this trip, knows this challenge, and I thought like this is just the right time to do it.
I mean,
yeah.
You mentioned the Peking to Paris, and you partnered with a former guest of mine, Patrick Watts, who is a very, very forceful character, is Patrick. How did that come about?
Nature.
Yeah. How did that come about?
Yeah, well, here you go. Patrick and Beijing to Paris. I mean, he's a great touring car driver, isn't he? I mean, he really knows what is he doing out there. But the tricky thing on the Beijing to Paris it's 5 weeks pure driving off-road. It's not what we do usually on the racetracks, is it? Like, it's not like 20 minutes or 1 hour in 24-hour race. That's a totally different gig out there. And I think we all learned this lesson, including Patrick.
Yeah.
And we had highs and lows, I would say. Patrick spent lots of time fixing the car. I remember that. I think it almost at some point he was laughing and saying, "What didn't break on our car?" So he has the most funniest stories. And we had one with Patrick, which is quite fun. They lost the spare tire from the car from the back.
Yeah.
You off-roading quite a lot, and it's very rough, and the tire just fell off the car, and we found it, and we knew they are ahead of us. So spare tire is a quite essential, spare part. So we thought, like, okay, we tried to take it with us, and we were in a Mustang, and a Ford Mustang. So I literally squeezed the tire into the cockpit inside.
Yeah.
And I was sitting with this car, with this tire on my lap for next 40 kilometers on off-road, jumping and gravel and everything. And it was Patrick's tire. And I have to admit, when we arrived, they absolutely couldn't believe what we've done. And free beer for the rest of the day, because this is what you do. And this is what we obviously don't do in the touring car races or other races, another paddock. When do you do it? So, many, many good stories. And we all finished. And we all had a great fun, and definitely it was experience for whole life, I would say. Yeah, for sure.
Now, after you'd done one of the big UK rallies, historic rallies, somebody kindly suggested that you may take up racing, and from there came the Bentley Bells, and straight into, even with you got a licence, straight into a 24-hour race. I mean, that is not a normal progress, is it?
Yeah, well, this is what we had the topic before, isn't it, Mark? Is I started with Big Heeley as my first race car, what is also not the most usual way how you start. So it was sort of, it was a team with me doing it from the wrong end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty right. My friends, my British friends with Betty Flo, as I always say, are responsible for this. I actually pretty much responsible for my racing, because out of fun idea, out of my idea to just do it, just out of reason. I want to do it. I want to prove it to myself, to everyone else, and I can do it. Yeah, I committed to this 24-hour race in Portimao, which is, as you know, very demanding technical circuit. I never raced in my entire life. I never even walked on a race circuit in my life. I didn't know what is an apex and nothing. So I was just a visitor in Goodwood for years, sitting on the grandstands, found it amazing, and always wanted to do it one day myself. This is what I knew, but not really in a Prevost Bentley, and not to start in a 24-hour race in Portimao. That wasn't my plan, clearly. Yeah. But here you go. Yes. After, in the end of this rally, we had a couple of drinks. As but the best idea is there's always some wine or whatever, whiskey's involved. And this is how it all happened. I said, yeah, I do it. I do it. And I don't do it only myself. I do it with the girls only.
Because that's the other thing. You had to find what you might call 3 more willing victims to form the Bentley Bells. I mean, nobody had any idea of this. How did you go about finding the other ladies to suddenly join in with this?
Yeah, well, that was a bit challenging, because no one knew me back in time. At that time, it was 2014 in the UK, and I didn't know anyone pretty much. I knew a couple of people from the rallies, but I was looking for ladies, and I didn't meet any who was driving or racing, not at that particular time. Yeah. So yeah, it was actually the BSCC club.
Oh, yeah.
Which was Patrick Blackney Edwards. He said, okay, do you know what? I sent a message, I sent an email, and let's see, maybe there are some girls who might be interested. And also other friends just ask around. And the whole message was like, look, there is one crazy girl living in Germany and she wants to do this and she never raced before. Is someone out there who would do it? So it sounded like, okay, no one is going to even call ever because, just the information itself was crazy enough. But here you go, I met my 3 girls and they were up to this challenge. This is why I love you guys, in the UK, because you're up to all kind of fun. And we never met. They never driven a pre-war Bentley.
So I was just going to say, don't mind me busting in, you were asking them not only to drive in a 24-hour race on a very difficult circuit, but it's a case of, by the way, you'll be driving one of the heaviest vintage cars ever built.
Yeah. Yeah, that's as you do a girl, right? We were the lightest drivers in the heaviest car.
Yeah.
What was easy to do, obviously. And yet all of them had some experience with pre-war cars.
Yeah.
None of them in a Bentley. And as you surely know, the gearbox in the Bentley, it's a kind of thing. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to get out and change gears. They, poor girls, had no idea what they just sign up to, and we had pretty much no time to meet, not really.
Yeah.
So we met literally in Portimao, and we were practicing in the backyard, and trying, I tried to show them how to do it, with other friends, like, you change gear like this. And one good girl struggled a little bit, me included. I wasn't also that experienced by then yet. And we decided that we're going to change the gear from first to fourth straight away. We missed these 2 gears in between.
Yeah.
Because that's the easiest way. We just saved the gearbox, we saved the car, and it really, it was just our helping tool. But in the end of the day, it helps us because we really indeed saved the car and finished 24 hours without any kind of technical issues. So yeah, that how we got through.
I mean, it's always a well-known saying, if you can't hear the gear change on a Bentley, you've either A, got it right, or B, destroyed the gearbox.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting one. I think when you destroy the gearbox, you're not moving at all. That stops. So, yeah, we had some crunches along the way, but look, it was just the whole thing. Like all the endurance races and rallies, you want to finish, and we were so well prepared with our strategies. We have a fueling strategy and timings, and I think we nailed it on that side. And this sort of minor thing with changing gears at that time, we're like, we get her out. Oh, we did. So here you go. And we loved it. And all of us, we did more rallies and racing afterwards, and that was my absolute begin and kickoff for racing because I felt entirely in love with it.
Do the Bentley Bells still exist?
Of course, we all exist, but life is funny. So one of our Bentley Bells became mother, what is wonderful, but it's not easy as a mother, find time and ditch family and go and race somewhere. So to manage sort of the right timing, the way all of us we can do something is quite tricky. But yes, we did good with Revival. Together, we do sometimes like 2 of us only, right? Because there are not so many races or not so many events where all of us can drive. That's the biggest issue on that. So we did just recent that. We did Spa, obviously we did Back in Time. We did Ascari. We did some rallies together. So yeah, we did Mille once together, all of us.
Yeah.
And when the opportunity is there, we always somehow get together. But it's became a little tricky. I'm not gonna lie. Here we go. No, we are there, and there are many other young girls asking if they can join or try. So yeah, a little bit play with the thought. If we are inspiration for the others, how to be used or what to do with the Bentley Bells story to inspire others.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that could be something.
Now, from there, from the Bentleys, I mean, I conclude you still own it. You then progress onto like a 1954 Cooper Jaguar and various other things. I mean, I've seen you on television, etc., at the circuits, and you seem to drive a healthy selection of classic sports cars like that Jaguar. I've seen you driving quite a lot of things. What else do you drive besides the Bentley and the Jaguar?
Yes, that's right. I moved to sports cars, what was obvious step from pre-war. Once you do racing, you want to do something more sporty, and as I said before, Goodwood was my big aim, big goal. So I was really looking for a car which is eligible for Goodwood. That was the idea behind it. And then I came across this Cooper Jaguar, which has been recommended to me as there's a car which did Goodwood 9 hours paying in time.
Yeah.
So it is like perfect. So this is how I actually got this car. But I said that the Cooper Jaguar T33 is a grown-up race car. It's a 50s car from 1954. And I really have to admit, I'm racing for so many years. I'm still growing into that car. It's a car you really have to know what you're doing out there.
Yeah.
It's a fast sports racer, and I'm okay with it. I'm good, but I remember my first years, especially in wet. It's a very heavy tail car, and there's a strong engine in the front, like back. Wow, I was really thinking maybe I shouldn't have bought this car, but I love it now, and I get on, and I had many good races in it. So that was indeed my start in the sports cars. I raced Jaguar E-Type.
Yeah.
365 in different series, and then I'm sharing from time to time with friends 363 E-Type. So I do love E-Types quite a lot, and then race my Healey, or my big Healey as we discussed, and then I moved a little bit to GT4, to modern cars, and did endurance racing for a couple of years, 24 races. So it was just a logic sort of move. You start somewhere pre-war, you go sports cars, and you go a little bit modern. Everything seems to be so interesting. Once one is into cars, I wanted to try everything. I raced radicals a little bit in the US, and so everything what is moving and racing, I wanted to have a go and try. So that's what I actually did so far. But yeah, I still have my Bentley and love it and drive it, race it, and that's the same sports cars, the Cooper and then the E-Type. So yeah, that's the one models on my main cars are mine driving, and it's enough, I have to say.
What made you want to switch? I mean, you drove also a Mercedes-Benz AMG GT4 in the 24 Hour of Dubai. I mean, how did that come about? How did the move into modern GT racing come about?
Yeah, they're back to friends with bad influence, right?
Yeah.
Not friends with bad influence. It was that, and thank God, they influenced me, because in the historic racing, there are many guys, many friends who do also modern racing, right?
Yeah.
So all used to do. So I have. In my team, there were a couple of guys. They used to do British GT, or different racing. My co-driver Phil Keane, for example, he races all sorts of stuff. So I was listening, I was watching them, at the weekend, watching their races, and yeah, sure. I thought like, wow, that looks like serious. That looks like real racing. I would love to do that too. So the step was again there. The idea was there, and I was very easy to be won then by them. Like, okay, have a go, try. And so yeah, I did a track day. Absolutely loved it, and said, yeah, why not? I have a goal. So ended up with this GT4 Mercedes AMG, and back to beauty. I was like, this is a great car. The sound is the best, in the paddock. I have to have it. And because I love endurance racing itself, so I straight away sort of aimed the 24 races. So yeah, two races in Dubai and Portimao, back to Portimao. After so many years And it was a sort of feeling, it's a funny feeling, it's a great feeling, because all my racing started 2014 in a Bentley, pre-wool Bentley in Portimao.
Yeah.
And then 2021, I found myself in a GT4 Mercedes doing a 24-hour race with my team, and we won it. I was very happy, and I thought, wow, this is a great moment, to see the sunrise and the same track, but a little bit more serious car and everything. So yeah, here we go. That's the story behind the modern racing, and I still love it. Every time I get hands on something more modern, that's a different take, and it's great fun. Yeah.
I mean, racing a modern car and a 24-hour race, it's a whole different mindset to racing vintage cars and classic cars. I mean, at Goodwood and places like that, it's as much a social event as it is a racing event.
Right.
Racing a modern car for 24 hours, it isn't a social event anymore, is it? It's a very, very serious thing. So how did you find this transition from, shall we say, enjoying yourself at Goodwood to being in basically a professional team in a modern car at a 24-hour race?
Yes, yeah, that's a very good question. It is absolutely different world, as you described before. It's something you can hardly compare classic car racing to modern racing. The teams are more serious. Everyone is focused on themselves. You're focused on yourself as a driver. I felt immense pressure on myself, because I didn't want to let down the team.
Yeah.
I was thinking this was the biggest difference for me, in sense of, right, if I do something wrong in the classic car racing, one race, one driver race, okay, it's my fault. It's my responsibility. But here is the whole effort going abroad and have 4 drivers, 24 hours. I really felt this pressure as a rookie. I was like, oh gosh, that would be disaster. But that's a little bit why I even got there and even got into racing, because this is my personal thing. I always put pressure on myself, so I can't pull back. I have to stay with the goal which you put in front of me, and this is how I move forward. And I thought, well, I'm not going to die in these 24 hours. Somehow I will get over it. But I have to admit that I really prepared quite a lot. At the first 24-hour race, I took so seriously. I was like, you could compare it to 24 hours Le Mans or something.
Yeah.
I've really had I prepared physically, my coach and everything. Training, obviously, no alcohol for months and whatsoever, and watched.
Just putting in, that's the difference. At Goodwood, you can hop out and have a glass of champagne and commiserate.
Exactly. This is why we love it.
You can't do that in a modern 24-hour race.
No, you can't. You can't really. You could, but maybe it's not very what I would recommend, to be fair. But yeah, obviously, no. It's very different. But on the other hand, it's great, and I love it. This telemetric data, your whole head is into that, and that's fantastic. That's great. I mean, we classic cars, we just have fun. Yeah, of course we try to do our best, but compared to the modern racing, you can't really cheat, in the sense of they know exactly, in your team knows exactly what are you doing out there, right? And all the data they get lap by lap. There are no excuses. There's not a huge Google excuses, right? So and this is a good, because we have to work. I had to work on myself, and I knew, like, okay, well, I can't hide this one. That was clearly, me being blonde or female. It wasn't good, and I have to do better next lap. So I love that. Yeah, as a challenge, I really, really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the level of professional racing, and yeah, here you go. But everybody helped me. I have to say, without the team, without my co-drivers who gave me the guidance, it's through these years, it's through these races, I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't have done that. So yeah, big deal.
Because, I mean, that's the other thing. You're racing a vintage Bentley, and if you've a problem with the car, then you, want a better term, drive round it. You just carry on best as you can. In a modern GT car, a modern endurance car, you are constantly adjusting them, resetting things, checking telemetry, and altering things as you drive around. I mean, how did you teach yourself to be able to do all this? I mean, you would have had lessons, but I mean, driving a modern racing car, you're not just sat behind the wheel steering it, are you? There's a lot to be doing whilst you're in it.
Yeah, that's right. And I had at that point, I had no idea what I am supposed to do, right? So
Yeah.
it was a learning process, learning by doing quite a lot. So only while testing, I realized exactly all these buttons in the car, right? I look at my E-Type, okay, E-Type is maybe they're awesome, but the Bentley, right, there are some switches or whatsoever, but I'm not using anything. So it is indeed like going in the rocket ship compared to the pre-war cars. Go to modern car. On the other hand, you say that. On the other hand, you do less in a modern car.
Yeah.
Because the car does so much for you. So I had the issues rather with using my steering quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
So used from classic cars, correcting everything, right? So I had to be more steady, right?
Yeah.
Don't steer too much. Don't steer the car on a steering wheel, for example. Second thing, which was a huge thing, the braking points, right? I was braking slowly because you do, can't you? But you do. And once I did a milli, and right after milli, I flew to Paul Ricard for 2 days testing in the GT4. And it was very funny because everybody was like saying, you just drove the Bentley, right? We can literally tell. You're like braking 40 meters earlier. Like it's your head, it's the mind, and that to find my own mind, I think that was the biggest. It was the biggest deal, and slowly I got into that. I'm sure you do, and it's just the confidence to trust yourself and the confidence and get over the level. Like, okay, I trust the car we get around the corner with the speed. So that is it.
I mean, it's interesting you mentioned that. I mean, I drive my everyday car, and then it's like yesterday afternoon, I went out in the sports car, and all of a sudden you're braking. Okay, you're on public roads, a fast public road, and you're braking for a corner where you would normally brake in your everyday car, and you think, I don't need to brake till another 40 yards before in the sports car.
That's it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. It's so difficult, isn't it? It's so difficult to tell your head, no, you can brake, I don't know, 20 meters later.
Yeah.
And it takes a couple of laps to get there.
The other thing,
I also think as a female male, you guys, you just go for it quite quickly. Yeah? Well, I have to trust it. I think it's also girl. I'm not sure. Let me find out. So.
now, I mean, that's one thing. Your comments on Formula Woman. I mean, I've interviewed a lot of lady racing drivers, and not very many of them approve of Formula W. And I've always said, and they've always said, racing is a great leveler. It doesn't matter whether you're male, female. I'll probably get into trouble for that. But on a circuit, you are a driver in a car and you set off on an equal footing. And I've always said, when I'm driving, when I was racing, okay, you'd recognise a car and think, oh, that's such a body driving that. But a lot of the time, you weren't bothered who was driving it. You wanted in that corner before them, and they wanted into that corner before you. And it made no difference what gender you were. I mean, what's your view on lady racing drivers? I've always found lady racing drivers at times to be far more aggressive than men.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I'm a little bit maybe on the other side of this whole, I would call it movement, right? We see this movement with female drivers, and on the positive note, I find it good when there is a platform for girls where they show their abilities, right?
Yeah.
So, right, I mean, that I would say is good to have all these all-female series or whatsoever. But the car doesn't absolutely care. what gender you are.
No.
Absolutely no. And I don't want that other care what gender I am out there. I want to be taken as a competitor. I'm your competitor, right? And if I'm male or female, it shouldn't matter at all. And I don't want to be in all female races actually, because it's great. Okay, it's for fun, but the right measure of abilities you can only do when you go out together.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you said. I mean, my obviously big heroine is Michelle Mouton. And when I look at it, those days, there was no female whatever movement. There was nothing like that. And she just went out there. She went for it, very aggressive, as you said. No one was judging anything. And she just did her thing. And nobody was talking about it much, was it? In the sense of, okay, female, male. And I think we should a little bit go back to the basics and just look at it from the racist perspective and not from the gender perspective. And yeah, I absolutely agree. And if you have the skills, you'll be fine. You'll be good.
As I said, it's like they keep saying, we need more women in motor racing. Yes, no problem. I mean, you've got to admit this yourself. The one thing that holds everybody back in motorsport at times is funding and lack of it. I mean, it's an expensive thing to do is racing, and that is what stops a lot of people racing.
Yep, that's absolutely the case. As we know, if you fail, if you have a talent, the skills and everything, you can still fail exactly on these particular things. Unfortunately, there are so many talents out there, and there were so many talents in the past and never made it into the series or series racing because of lack of funding, as you said. And I think it's back to it. If you're male or female, there is no difference, right? It's as challenging outside the race car to finding sponsors, to finding funding.
Yeah.
For everyone, for all of us. Yeah, of course. At the beginning of this female movement, it is a little bit of advantage, I'm not gonna lie, to be a female, because we're still so few girls out there, aren't we? So it just a little bit sells better, if I can say so.
Yeah.
So I mean, the sponsors like it more that because it's rare and it's more right. It's better to show. Well, in the end of the day, you have to have your skills. You have to be committed and dedicated to what you do, and you have to convince with results. When you're convinced with results, you're going to convince your sponsors. Yeah. And that's for all of us. And this is matters of male and females, and that is my view on that. I know it's maybe not very popular, but this is how I see it.
I mean, the other week I interviewed a young girl racer called Ashley Gregory. I described her as one of the most committed, dedicated, focused and talented racing drivers I had ever met, irrespective of male or female, and her attitude towards racing. And it's like she said, it's not all being behind a wheel. She said, as a racing driver, it's a 24-hour-a-day job, working on the car, working for sponsors, sorting everything out. And I dare say you'll agree, racing isn't just being behind the wheel of a racing car.
No, it's not. And it became like that. It became even more and more. The commitments drivers, especially in the professional racing, when you look at it, it's to have a full calendar, schedules of media and sponsors and the customers from the sponsors. You have to spend time with them and the events and all sorts of stuff. And this wasn't like this before. Not as much, not to this extent. And it became a full job. I absolutely agree. It's something keeps you busy and distracts you a little bit from the main thing, and that's racing. But you have to do it. You have to just get on with it. And you have to be equally as good in that, because there are couple of examples. They're very good drivers and super talented and everything skilled, but they just can't or don't want to play the other part, the other side of racing.
Yeah.
And you are not going to be very successful then, because you have to these days do that as well. You have to play the game on the other side, because racing has to be funded. It's very expensive, and it belongs to it. It's a part of the whole. It's a part of the whole game, and it's just became with media what we have these days and sponsors. It's absolutely essential to be good at that as well.
Now, I can remember when I raced, I used to be told the car will be appearing at such and such a place, or the cars will be there, and you will be there. I mean, you have, some may be surprised to hear, you have a proper full-time job. How do you navigate the racing round it all?
Yes, well, thank God, thank God, unfortunately, however, I'm not a professional race car driver in sense of that, I don't get paid for racing. I still have to pay for my racing. There's a huge difference. So if there are some commitments and sense around that, I can choose. I can choose which races I want to do, or which races I can do, and which not. And so I don't have a team. I don't have a manager behind me who tells me what to do and what not to do. What is a great thing on one hand, because you have the freedom to just design your whole actually year and your season how you want. But you can only do it if you're amateur driver, as I am, right? I'm very dedicated and I spend all my time and pretty much all my money on racing cars. But there are many, there are many races and many events where I say, no, that's not going to happen. I can't have everything. I can't do it. So, and it's compromises. And also now when I, find again the passion for a little bit endurance rallying or trips, with cars abroad, right, then I can't do as much racing. It's something in between. I have to find the compromise. So, everyone has to just find the right way for themselves, or if you have a professional drivers, the team and the manager is going to tell you what has to be done, unfortunately.
Now,
So
we're heading into 2026. What races and what events have you got in the diary already?
26. What is it? Well, it's a Monaco Historics, so it's always every second year. So hopefully I will and can race there. It's something special. Monaco is just it's a pinnacle in many ways. So looking forward to that. I'm joining the Ice in St. Moritz. That's my first car event.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of driving on a frozen lake, and I will have my Bentley there. So looking forward to that. What I always love and always did is ice driving in Sweden or in Lapland.
Yeah.
So on a big frozen lakes, just do some laps. That's not an event, but it's something you do cars again.
Yeah.
It's a different shade of doing cars. And in terms of events, I hope I will do some races with Peter Auto.
Yeah.
Classic car racing, maybe Barcelona in April, March, I think, and Spa. You can't miss Spa, can you? Yeah, hopefully good with revival. And in November later on, I'm doing endurance. What do you call it? Endurance? Yeah, sure. 3 weeks trip through Indochina.
Yeah.
With a car. So it's a rally through Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and really looking forward to that one, because it's just you discovering countries, people, you see stuff, and at the same time you do cars in rally. So that will be sort of maybe icing on the cake in the end of the year, and maybe Modena Centaur before.
Yeah.
So that's the rough plan. Let's see what I can do from that.
Would you ever consider, or would you ever like to get to the stage where you could compete in what everybody considers the ultimate race, the 24-hour of Le Mans?
Of course, yes. I mean, I always sort of wanted it, had it on my mind when I started my mono racing. But it's a way. It's a way to Le Mans, and I spent a lot of time in Le Mans for different reasons, and saw it also from the organizer side. So a little bit work with the organizers, saw it from the other side. I spent a lot of time with teams there, so had experience how is it with team, and always wanted to do it. And if you really want to do Le Mans properly, I say in a way you should do it. Then there is a long way to Le Mans. The prep, you should do lots of racing before, prepare yourself. The races where you have the P cars, the LMP cars around you to get used to that and all sorts of stuff. I don't want to do it in a way to buy my seat and do Le Mans. I know you could sort of do it. But
I'm not being funny. You are, with your racing experience, etc., you are more than qualified to do it.
It's very lovely saying it, but I think everybody, should judge their own skills, and I think there should be lots ahead of that. I didn't put it off the list yet. It's sort of there and thinking, if I want to do it, I should hurry up. But yeah, of course I would love to. Who wouldn't?
I mean, I have raced there, but not in the 24, because as you know, the circuit is used for a variety of other things, and it is an incredible circuit. My only complaint is they put chicanes on Mulsanne. I can remember driving Mulsanne with no chicanes, and it's an incredible experience when you realise you're driving a fast car and it won't go any faster.
Oh, that's a dream, right? Those were the days. Those were the days. It's the same with Spa and different circuits where you think, oh, yeah, that old good circuit. Yeah, Le Mans, come on, Le Mans is just, it stays only one circuit you want to race, really. When you race, there's only one circuit one race you want to do. It's Le Mans 24, isn't it? And it's spectacular, even if you're there as a spectator, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, the atmosphere is... I've always said the two circuits that have the greatest atmosphere, even when there's nothing happening, is Le Mans and Monza. They are just... The atmosphere, even when there's nothing going on, is incredible.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. Even walk around, it just gives you sort of goosebumps because you know what is it? Is it the whole tarmac? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, Le Mans Classics, I've done it a couple of times. It is a shade of Le Mans 24 hours. Yeah. Obviously, it's not the same. But the race in the night, even at Le Mans Classics in the night, it has got the feel, right? And because racing in the night in Le Mans, wow, yeah, that's feels like almost a real deal.
Yeah.
And I race the Bentley regularly there, mainly the Bentley, and I just think back, Bentley boys when they really started in Le Mans, right?
Yeah.
And think how they did it on a not tarmac roads, partly on gravel, and I'm so impressed, right? So yeah. They never lost the magic, never will, and for us racers, it's the ultimate track. You wanna be there, not agree.
Now, would you ever consider, say, competing in the Monte Carlo Rally Historique and possibly the great, well, it's now called the RAC again, the Roger Albert Clark proper stage rally? Would you ever consider doing anything like that? I know you probably have to leave the Bentleys and the Mercedes and go for a Ford Escort or a 911. Would you ever consider doing them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's one of them is on my list already, so that's happening. So yeah, sort of working on that.
Which one, the Monte?
Yes. Well, would love to start with Rally Monte Carlo Historic. It has to be done.
Yeah.
No, I mean it has to be done. I think there is no talking around. It's a different kind of event. But it's just so legendary, and always wanted to do it, and now a little bit got the touch of rallying again. Really love it. Big into that. I would try to attend in the next years. So
yeah,
need to have the right car and practice with it a little bit, and just it has to be done. Yeah.
What about the RAC? That is grassroots. You'll be walking around in mud, in old rally cars, but the people who do it absolutely love doing it. Maybe just to do it once, would that appeal to you? Or by the time you finish, you get out the car and say, that's it, never again?
Oh no, I don't think there's any car event. I would say that. I mean, I can assure you, there's hardly any event I would say. Yes, I would be absolutely up to that, up to everything of this kind, and like stages. You know, I did now after years the Modena 100 Ore in this year. And these are different stages, right? But you do have your stages, two stages a day, one race a day. And I was almost forgotten how great stages actually are, the proper stages, like hill climbs and so on.
Yeah.
So I really got to hang out of it right now. And so, yeah, I would love to do that. Just the car. I need the right car for it and spend some time in this car, do some driving and just get into the whole rally feeling. And once that's done, I would say I am there in the flesh. Yeah. Yes, I would be up to it. I wouldn't mind to sort of, go through a period where you struggle and learning by doing or whatsoever. But I've been there. I've done the same with racing, with no one, sort of took me seriously, or no one really told what the hell am I doing there. I would do the same procedure again in rallying as well. So yeah, absolutely.
I think to have finished the 24-hour of Dubai would definitely silence any detractors you might have. I mean, to finish a 24-hour race is an achievement. Even though you may not be the first across the finish line, to finish a 24-hour is a serious achievement, in my opinion. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's indeed. To finish 24 hours wherever you finish, it feels like a win. Yeah, and when you win, it feels even better. Yeah, totally. Totally. No, I agree. Any kind of achievement, when you set a goal for yourself, and you are able to achieve it and are part of it, and you mainly you prove it to yourself. I don't know how other racers or drivers doing it, but mainly sort of prove it to myself. Yes, I've done it. I wasn't sure along the way, but yeah, here I am. I'm finished. So it's a very good feeling. It's a good feeling. Yeah, I love it.
Katarina Kyvalova, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and thank you for giving up your very valuable time, because I know you're always extremely busy. But once again,
thank you very much for inviting me. I enjoy our chat, absolutely. Thank you.
Once again, Katarina Kyvalova, thank you very much indeed.